So today's lesson is all about level curves. So level curves are a type of level set. And all a level set is a tool to visually observe how a function behaves at a fixed point, level, surface, or hypersurface. We can use level sets to analyze a geographical region, the behavior of a black hole, the terrain of the ocean floor. In computer science and engineering, level sets are used everywhere. So you must understand the maths of it so you can apply it to your own projects. So the notation of a level set is usually in this form. We have some set of coordinates such that the function is equated to some constant. Depending on how many coordinates a level set has, depends on the name it is given. So in this instance, if you have a number of coordinates equal to 2, so say x and y, you will get your level curve. But if you have a level set which has more than 2 coordinates, you get something called a level surface. And anything more than 3 coordinates, you get a hypersurface. So now that we understand where the level curve has come from, we can now start looking at them in more detail. So level curves are simply just slices of a function which has 3 dimensions. We have your z, your x, and your y axes. The most common example used in textbooks is something called a paraboloid. And usually they say, okay, a level curve is horizontal slices or slices taken along the xy plane, and it shows us the behavior of this 3-dimensional object in 2D. And then they'll give you a graph like so, with rings around it, which is supposed to be the top-down view of this image. But it doesn't always have to be in horizontal slices. The only reason textbooks and exams use horizontal slices is so you understand the basics of level sets. You can, in actual fact, take slices in any direction you want. You can take it along this plane, you can take it along that plane, this plane. It doesn't matter. But for the sake of simplicity, you just need to know that it goes along horizontal slices. So let's work on some examples. The first thing you want to do when a question asks you to draw some level curves is to equate your function to a constant, like this. And please mention somewhere that your constant is an element of all real numbers. So now you can rewrite the equation as so. And the next step for you to do is identify what type of curve, what type of curve this will give. And from primary school or high school, you should understand that this will give a circle. And you also should know that our C, because it is in this format, as C varies, the radius will vary. So our level curves will take this format. And this, in fact, is something called a paraboloid, and it will have a basket shape. Again, for this question, all you need to do is equate this to some constant and then rearrange so that the equation is of a familiar form. So we can see that this graph will form, equation will form a hyperbolic graph. One very important thing to note is to watch your domain. So x cannot be 0. So when you're drawing this graph, make sure that the lines do not go anywhere near 0. So in this case, the asymptote will be at 0. Unless a question wants you to specifically sketch a certain amount of level curves, just make sure that there is an equal amount of curves on each side, make it symmetrical. But if they want level curves at a specific level, say c equals 1 or c equals 2, obviously draw it at that level. That's pretty much it about level curves.